On November 19, 1863, a tall man in a plain black overcoat gave one of the most important speeches in American history. 4.5 months before he addressed the crowd in this small Pennsylvania farm town, the biggest battle ever fought on this side of the planet had taken place. The people of Gettysburg were still burying the corpses that numbered among the battle's 51,000 casualties. Lincoln arrived by train the night before with an undiagnosed case of smallpox that would leave him sick to his stomach during his speech the next day. He stayed the night in this house, the home of David Wills, who had invited him for the consecration of the National Cemetery at Gettysburg. At the noontime opening of the cemetery that day, the keynote speaker, Edward Everett, had gone on for 2 hours, while Lincoln's subsequent speech was a little over 2 minutes. In 271 words and only 10 sentences, in biblical and classical language, the president summarized the sacrifices, reasons, and importance of the battle and the war. After 3 hours of the ceremony, Lincoln stood to speak, and when he finished, the crowd was almost silent, transfixed with his brief words.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far beyond our poor power to add or detract. The world will little know, nor long remember, what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.